This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
What's up, everybody? It's another NFC East show, and there can be only one.
Oh, shut the hell up.
What's up, Sneaky?
Oh, shut the hell up. Look, I'm going to say this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I'm happy we were there. We as Giant fans, yeah, a lot of us are disappointed. But, I mean, obviously, you guys were the number one seed for a reason, and it is what it is. We'll be back. But I'll tell you what.
You can't be disappointed. Yeah, you can't be disappointed in how they got there, man. They played their –
be there.
Yeah.
We weren't even supposed to be there. And, like I said, I hate your coach. I really
My coach?
Yes, your coach.
Why now?
I hate well, no. I mean that whole little head bob he did at the commercial break. I'm like, okay, I see you. Okay, check mark. I bookmarked it. I checked it because I mean, honestly, at some point, okay, if we get who we need to re-sign, okay, Jones, Saquon, and some other, maybe put some more money in our receiving core and more money in our defense. And then a little, sprinkle a little salty bay in our special teams. We are what you guys were a couple of years back, maybe last year. So I think we're not too far from where you guys are. So it's just a matter of time and patience.
Well, I think that there is some truth to that. I think there is some truth to that. I think that there is. First off, I like it when the NFC East is great. You know what I mean? And I want all the teams to be great. And the fact that there were still 3 of 4 NFC East teams in the divisional round says a lot for the NFC East.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody said, we had an easy schedule. Well, we didn't have an easy schedule because in our whole conference, we're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, and we had to play each other twice. So I felt that you guys I don't think you guys were ready for what was coming. And when he went for it on 4th and 8 with only being down 7-0, that was a telltale. That was an absolute telltale of what was to come.
I don't think it was more so what was coming. I just knew that when you guys scored your first touchdown, we got the ball immediately back and did not answer. I'm like, okay, today's going to be a rough day. Yeah. Right then is when I knew it was going to be a rough day, and I was okay with it. I looked at Nick and I said, "Hey, we got this far.
Yeah,
and whatever happens from here on out." When we went 4 and out and we 4 and out, or I'd say 3 and out, and then punted, and then you guys scored again. I'm like, all right, Nick, just let's enjoy this moment. I was like,
hey, you guys are there. You guys are there. That was the thing. I'm sorry, I'm hitting all the groups here in the.
Oh no, I'm actually going to be doing the same thing here in a second. But I mean, it was just one of those where, look, I wish, to be honest, I mean, had Seattle won, I would have loved to see that San Francisco Giants matchup. Okay. But it wasn't meant to be. We were where we were, and you guys were you were. And there was a lot of talk about Hurts' shoulder, his shoulder. I'm like, okay. So when I had my show late night Friday night, everybody was talking like there's a chance. And I even said that I'm not confident, but I'm comfortable. Okay. I'm comfortable going in to Sunday. But the more I thought about, your defensive line, the more I thought about the 2 cornerbacks, the more I thought about, the linebacking core, that middle linebacker you guys got. I was like, well, shoot, even if his shoulder was sore, how the hell are we going to put up points? Because you got Slay and you got Bradbury. How we going to, we got that defensive front, 10 sacks plus from each individual. How are we going to get, Barkley open? Because when I looked at the numbers, okay, Minnesota they were ranked 31st in defense. But when you look at Philadelphia, they were ranked, 8th, I think, in defense. It was a top 10 defense.
Realistically, I think it, when all was said and done, it was like 3rd. I think the running defense wasn't as good, and that may have brought us down, but we were like 3rd.
You guys were 8th, but yards, you guys were number 2. So that was going to be a problem. And I was like, you know what? Let's just enjoy the moment. That's all we got. So Pork Rind, how'd you guys do in your? Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm doing great. I got some company on the couch now.
Yeah. Apparently, Pork Rind.
We're hoping True Blue makes it. We're hoping True Blue makes it out. He was the others today. I did speak to him, and he was flying back home. So hopefully, we can come on and
that's right.
We could ask him kind of what his thoughts were.
That's right.
I
wanted
to. I so badly wanted to play them. But
I will say this.
I don't think it mattered. What an interesting game that was last night. I thought that Dallas could have won that had they not. I mean, they just were making some mistakes.
Dak looked bad, man. Dak looked bad.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I know the Giants has our struggles, okay, and we're, like I said, we were just happy to be there the first time in 6 years, the first time in double-digit years of getting a playoff win. I would not want to be a Cowboys fan ever.
We got him. He's in the house.
Perfect timing. What's up?
What's
Drew?
up, baby?
Blue has made it back.
I'll say it again. As of right now, I know, like I said, I know the Giants has their struggles, but I would not want to be a Dallas Cowboy fan. I would not. Just the fact that what do you guys 0-11 in divisional games or something like that, 0-7 I think it was, and just the issue of every year having such high expectations. I'm not saying you put that on the team, but every year having such high expectations and every year coming short. And I've seen the videos. I don't know if you guys seen the videos of people throwing their TVs away, punching their screen TVs, shooting their TVs. Like it's the TV's fault that you guys have not advanced to the NFC Championship game since 1995. I know that's vodka. I know that's not water you're drinking right now. As a true Cowboys fan, you should be drinking right now. But I mean, seriously, what is the feeling, overall feeling right now you got in True Blue?
I keep getting a freeze up. Is everybody there?
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, everybody's here. So yes.
We are anticipating your answer.
Yeah, I mean, he's at a loss for words. Yeah, you must be lagging pretty badly.
Oh shit!
We're not laughing at you, Drew. We're not laughing at you at all.
First the game and now this.
All right, you may have to do a reset. You may got to do a reset. All right. Well. Words now. He's just a man of few words.
Man of few words. How does it feel like to be a Giants fan or a Cowboys fan? It's like to be a Cowboys fan.
Are you guys there?
Yeah, we're here.
We hear you, but you have not moved.
There he is.
All right, I think you got it.
Technical difficulties on my end.
Hey, no worries. Hey, that's the beauty of a live show.
So, anyways, but I think you're back now.
So I heard your question. All right. Yeah, I heard your question, and the high expectations. Of course, it's every year, but when your relationship, and I'm gonna speak, not me, my team. I'm gonna say the internals, the coaching staff, the owner, the GM, everybody who has working relationships. I'm going to have to say with the GM, I'm not saying the owner, I'm saying the GM. But the relationships that he has with his coaches are true bonds, and I just don't understand it, because once somebody, does something so egregious or can't do anything to back up what they're talking about, you keep them around year after year after year, regardless of the head coaching change. Just doesn't make sense. And I think you guys know where I'm going with this, but fans out here, give up all their money and everything else year after year as well to this team, and spend a pretty dime to make sure that we have the players and personnel that we need, and it just never seems to fit with what the GM wants. And I have to stress the GM, because it's ultimately who it falls upon. And everybody knows who our GM is. And it's just, you can't have these internal discussions without having some outside conversations, and it just seems never to happen. And I know that Steven is getting there, and I just don't understand from a fan perspective how you can keep going on with the coaches that you have. And I'm not talking about the head coach. I am not talking about the head coach.
Right. I know you're talking about.
I'm not talking about the defensive coordinator.
No, I know you're talking about. Oh, you are.
And it's just one of those things where if you're not gonna fix the situation, just tell everybody to not even show up. I mean, as a fan base, we can have our expectations all our want, but when we see the stats, it's just horrifying. And yesterday was horrifying. Mm-hmm. Sitting in that end zone, seeing what I saw, the play after play, when I'm able to yell out exactly what's going to happen, and everybody sees me, and they're like, and I'm doing that from my seat. What do you think the defense is seeing from San Fran?
Right.
They know what's coming.
Yep.
They know the routes. You can read the routes. You can't sit there and say, "Oh my, what?" No, you can't do that. And again, me as a fan, I'm seeing that from the field, in my seat in the end zone, all the way down on the other side, and I see what the linebackers are doing, already adjusting to the situation. And it's like, okay, well, what do you do? But what the OC did for us was just failure yet again. And if he's there after this season, some heads are going to roll. And I'm not saying from an internal discussion as far as the employees of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm talking about the fan base. The fan base has seen enough. We've had this guy as our backup quarterback. We've had this guy as our offensive coordinator, both with Linehan and Jason Garrett. And we see that nothing has changed with him. Nothing. Okay, yeah, you might have one hot game with Tampa Bay, and that's exactly the way he should have had the offense this game. But he didn't. You throw. It just doesn't work for a quarterback who's not capable of throwing 40-plus times. It's just not.
So, I mean, okay, I understand that there is some blame that needs to be put on Dak. Okay, that's a given.
Oh, yeah.
You can't throw 2 picks in a
playoff
game like this. But you also got to look at another big stat that has been a hindrance on the Dallas Cowboys. Let me take a step back first. Let's go back to last year. Okay, the 2-minute, the clock management killed you guys. And what's up, Chris?
That was the first half.
And what I want to get at is last year against the 49ers, it was you should have took that and put it on the practice field. You guys should have immediately been more. You guys should have been like experts, subject matter experts of the 2-minute.
Again, the situation,
and also situational football. But I want to say that punt, that third down punt, take a damn timeout. What the hell? I mean, clock management. And then what really hurt you guys mostly, 7 penalties for 50 yards.
Yeah.
7 penalties.
Yeah.
And you had
I'm right there.
Back to back to back. And I'm telling you, as a Giant fan, I'm loving every second of this. When that clock was winding down, when you guys were doing transition from punt team, look, you could have took a timeout. You would have had the 2-minute warning, and then you had 2 other timeouts to follow behind. I don't know if that's under McCarthy's dailiwick or if this is under the offensive coordinator. Eagles will show Cowgirls how to put Purdy back in high school. We'll find out. Nice. I like them chains, though. I'll tell you. But seriously, though, I don't put the full blame. I know he threw 2 picks, and I knew when Pollard was out, you guys were done. And yes, Cowboys are predictable. They are.
Yeah.
It was either Pollard or CD.
It's the
Pollard
offense is predictable.
Zeke,
Okay, so when I see Tony Pollard go down, I said, "Yep, his leg's broken." I see it. I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. I see what's going on. You make adjustments as an OC. You do. We have another capable young man back there of running just the same capable way that Pollard does. But we don't put him in the game until the end of the third quarter. And I'm sitting here like, what are you doing? What are you thinking of? What do you think 2-1 is going to do that this 3-4 kid's not going to do?
Right.
And excuse me while I'm not saying names right now because I'm not going to be calling anybody out. But the thing is when I've got I got capable players there, why utilizing them? My defense did their job. My defense actually, it's the offense who let us down yet again. And when you score 6 points and muff a field goal yet again, it's like, okay, here we go again. But you can't let win by field goals and then just give up a touchdown in the third quarter and think everything's going to be fine and not produce. The OC
that was the killer. That was the killer.
Yeah,
getting that punt, and you got the punt, you got the recovery from the fumble and the punt, and you did not score a touchdown there.
Yeah,
that was the
exactly.
killer. I'm like, that's the end.
Yeah.
You know, and let's face it, he was able to kick. He's able to kick for 3 points
and going into halftime.
Yeah, he can't make. He
Yeah,
can
going
make
into
the field goal.
halftime, it's one of those things as well.
You know, and to be fair,
going into halftime, that's what I'm saying. We're down in the red zone, and we throw a pick. It's like, okay, we got a minute and a half. You know, we're doing a 2-minute drill. We're in a minute and a half, and you pick, and then you let them drive all the way down and get 3 points out of the situation, knowing that you're getting the ball the second half instead of execution, finishing it off. You do what you're supposed to do as a team, as a championship team. But this isn't championship caliber football that we're playing. It never was.
Well, I tell you, it was interesting to watch the game, and I'm never rooting for the Cowboys. I'm never rooting for the Cowboys, but I wanted them to win. I wanted to be able to have an all NFC East championship. And I thought you guys had the opportunities to win it. That was a winnable game for you guys.
Well, yeah, I want it, and just San Francisco. I'm gonna give kudos to their defense. I will not give kudos to their offense. Their quarterback is. I mean, when I saw the quarterback go down behind snap of the center, and his face mask is touching the rear end of the center, I was like, how tall is this guy? And then I see the situation at hand. It's the playmaking ability. Yeah, he can scramble, he can do this, but it's all cliched offense. He's either going to roll out, or he's going to have a slant over the middle, and he's going to put trips out on one side. The only way he can do it is get the linebackers out of the middle to throw over the middle, and they do a good scheme of that. But other than that, everything's a rollout. And if you eliminate, you just have 2 linebackers. If you have 2 linebackers in there, you're going to take care of that situation. The guy can't go anywhere. He can scramble, but whatever. And again, it was our offense that let us down.
I will give the 49ers offense some props. I mean, but honestly, let's look at the weapons. But let's look at the weapons that they have. Okay, if I was a rookie quarterback in the NFL, I would love to be on this team. That offensive line is stacked. You got Kittle. I always mess up his name.
Debo.
Who?
You got Debo Samuel.
But you got EQ.
IAQ.
IAQ. You got him. I mean, there is so, and you got Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey's not even the best player on that team.
And they shut him down yesterday too.
They did, yeah, but they couldn't shut anybody else
shut everybody down.
And
we shut down Debo. We shut down Kittle. He had 2 good catches, one over the middle where he popped it up. It was just it fell to his hands.
That play with Kittle where he.
But again, it's.
I don't even know what Diggs was doing when he was coming in. I mean, he turned his back to make a play, but all he had to do was play the ball. I mean, I know it's easier said than done.
Oh, exactly, right there in his hands.
And looking in, but when you got Kittle making that catch at the perfect time when Diggs was coming right underneath him to make the first down for a big play, which ended up being a touchdown. In these type of moments, and yes, I'm talking all this knowing the Giants only scored 7 points on Saturday. I get that. But at the same time, like you said, not only championship teams play as a championship team, but, when you have players that are playing as a championship player, make championship plays. Kittle, that was the play that he made. And if Diggs would have got if he would have batted that ball down, that would have been a big play.
That play shouldn't have even happened. There should have been a flag on the play because when Kittle was on the line, he was covered up by the fullback. So when he went out for the pass, that should have been an ineligible man downfield, and that should have been a penalty.
Exactly. But regardless of all that, here's the thing: when you just don't put any points on the board due to your lack of offense, you're just not going to win. 3 field goals and a touch is like, okay, whatever. It's like, you know, you allow them to get just 3 field goals and 1 touchdown, and you don't do anything on offense. And I see the comment there, how short of a leash is Dak on? The question is not how short is the leash. He's going to stay. He's got this contract. It's the others who I'm thinking about. There is no, you know, Dak Prescott is secured in his position. I know everybody's saying, well, you want to go out, get Aaron Rodgers, go do this. It's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. We're going to lose some. We're going to lose some.
You guys don't have that type of money to be able to play like that.
No. Well, that's what I'm saying.
So.
The thing that if anything, I think finally, you know, after 2 seasons of the head coach dealing with the player personnels that he inherited, I think him showing that, hey, I gave your guys a chance. Now it's time for me to bring in my people.
Right.
I think, you know, that has to be seen, because that's ultimately what I see. Sorry, guys. I gave your guys a shot. You've seen these last 2 years. I've given you 12 wins, but I could only do so much with what I inherit. You told me to keep these guys in their positions. That's what I did. You see what happens. And nobody talks about that.
You know what he does? You know what's going to happen when that happens? He'll be lucky if he gets those same 2 years with his own guys. I can honestly see. Well, I know you don't want to mention Kellen Moore. I'll mention it. I don't. Maybe he's the problem, but I will say that when McCarthy first got there, he made a statement saying that I make the decisions, I have the final call, and then the next day, Kellen Moore is going to stay there due to Jerry Jones. That's 2 different.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying. When you inherit something, you have to deal with it,
right?
And he's dealt with it for 2 years, and he's shown that I relied on your guys that you told me to deal with, and I've dealt with them, and nothing's changed. So you got it. You got it.
Yeah, but I bet you this year. But I think the fact that, he kind of looks at it. I feel like Jerry Jones looks at it like, hey, as long as we make it as far as the Eagles, the fact that the Eagles are in the NFC Championship game is going to really wear on him. And I think back to the time when you guys lost in Philly, 17-9. And that was essentially for the NFC East. And you guys lost that game, and he didn't want to let what's-his-face on the plane. Yeah, that they said that they were having
Jason Garrett?
Yeah, that was Garrett. Oh, yeah.
So, and he didn't want to let him on the plane. They were saying all that stuff like, oh, they're having plane trouble. They weren't having plane trouble. Jason Garrett was just trying to get on the plane, and Jerry Jones didn't want to let him on the plane.
Yeah. And if you go back to the beginning of this season when we discussed it, and when we were talking about it, we said even this week 6 matchup, and I said it. I said that's going to determine who wins the NFC East. From that game on, whoever wins that game is going to be the NFC East champions. And that's exactly what happened. You guys got that win, and we just couldn't – we didn't keep up.
I think we can all have somewhat of agreement that winning a division is nice, but home field advantage does not necessarily mean home field advantage. I mean, maybe for some. I mean, obviously the Eagles, you guys came out and showed out. But, I mean, I can say for the Vikings, it didn't work out. You could say for Tampa, it didn't work out. And look at Cincinnati. They're in the AFC Championship after beating Buffalo in Buffalo. It's just the caliber of the type of team that's on the field.
Right.
And the quarterback.
In that game, it was a straight smackdown. They just took it to them right away. And Buffalo couldn't recover.
Now, to kind of reflect on the Giants game, see this right here, the Cowboys and the Giants, it's legitimately the tale of 2 teams. We didn't have any expectations. We were playing with house money. That's all I heard since the playoffs even started. We got our Super Bowl by beating the Vikings last week. We were on cloud 9, okay? And the fact that everybody's saying, "Oh, we got slaughtered, we got smacked, we got destroyed." Yeah, because Philly has been built. They built their team to what they are today. From day one, from draft day, when they got AJ Brown, holy schmack. And then when they picked up Bradbury, which was a salary cap casualty for us, I knew deep down Philly was gonna. I knew before you even said anything, I knew that you guys were going to be dangerous. But I wasn't going to give you the benefit of the doubt because no, I'm going to have confidence on the Giants. But then when you look at that defensive front, 16 sacks, 10 sacks, 11 sacks, 10 sacks. What? Yeah, Philly, they built for this year. Although I'm old school, I would rather build for longevity. We'll see how long, if Philly could be a dynasty or not, or but I do know. They got to re-sign Bradbury. Bradbury's only on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, that's fine.
I do know that.
No, I get that. He's only on a 1-year deal, and we also have the 10th pick in the draft.
I truly believe that we are on the come up as well, and it will be our time. Maybe next year, maybe not. But we're going to be. I truly believe we're going to be taking step forward. So for us to get beat the way we got beat, it was good because now it kind of showed what kind of caliber of a team we need to be to have what Philly had, home field advantage, the top seed.
And are you saying that? Are you saying that with the condition that Daniel Jones is going to stay there?
I believe Jones and Barkley are going to stay there. It's just a matter of how much it's going to cost, because I know Barkley wants McCaffrey numbers, and I believe he's worth it. But what I believe and what Joe Shane believes is two different things. Because we have 11 draft picks this year, so that's going to help out. But at the same time, we got Jones, we got Barkley, and there's a lot of other free agent issues that we're going to have to dress up. But I don't know how much true it is, but Cat Williams was on record saying that he would consider a pay cut to keep this team going, and we'll find out. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Just as a Giants fan, accomplishing what we were supposed to accomplish with the problems that we had from what Gettleman left us, man, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. And we'll just see where this takes us.
Well,
all right. So I'm tired of all this couch talk. There was a team that did make it through the NFC Championship game. True. I guess I should hear from you guys, because I know Sneaky is very specific in the way that he's thinking of things right now. What were your thoughts on the games with the Eagles?
Who, me or
no? True.
From an offensive perspective. Yeah, from an offensive perspective, right at the bat, 14-zip first quarter. It was like go. The Eagles wanted to drive down the field, and they did. The defense held their end of the deal. I think it was pretty impressive the way you guys went out there and did that. I just didn't see from the Giants. I didn't see any continuity from last week. I see Daniel Jones not really making the throws that he was making, the decisions, but Eagles were getting behind the line of scrimmage. If these guys, you give them 3 seconds, they're good to go. Give them anything more than 3 seconds, they're out of sync. And that was the biggest difference maker.
Every single time.
So
Jones
it was very impressive, and I'm going to take the Eagles to win the NFC. The NFC to get into the Super Bowl, because I think your defense can hold San Fran. I think your offensive side is going to score more points based on the fact that we just couldn't score. So I'm not going to say it's a give me if you guys come out too cocky, and say, oh, we're just going to roll over because San Fran's going to go in there to play. But again, a good defensive coordinator is going to see the situation with that kid back in the backfield. I'm telling you, he cannot throw over the line of scrimmage. He will roll out. If anything, get that dime package going and just seal up the back end. I mean, get those big boys back there, and the guy's not going to know what to do. It was that simple of a win.
That's what I think.
We just screwed the pooch.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Well,
There's a reason why there's never been a rookie in the Super Bowl, and I think this big game is going to come as a surprise to him.
Well, I'll say this about the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles. Even with the healthy offensive line that we had, that was by far took leaps and bounds from last year. Look, when Jones, we didn't have any receivers that could break open. All right, that's the main thing. Okay, and two, let's be real. When Jones hit his back foot, he was running for his life. He couldn't plant and set his feet against the Vikings. Yeah. He had time to throw. And there's a difference between playing a 31st ranked defense in the NFL and at least a top 10, let's say top 8 in yards and top 2 in points. You know, there's a big difference. Or it's vice versa, one of the two. I don't know. I know it's something like that, 8-2 or 2-8, one of the two. But it was a rough game, and it was rough to watch. And a lot of people have asked me, Philly, and I wanted to tell you this straight up. They said, was I pissed off that Philly ran up the score? And my answer is no. If we don't want you to run up the score, we got to stop you.
Yep.
And we didn't do that. And, you know, it is what it is. And even if you guys didn't score that, I mean, 31-7. I mean, it don't make any difference from that point on. I'm just glad we had a touchdown, so it wasn't a shutout.
Right, because that's really I was hoping for that initially, you know, and then you guys scored that touchdown, and then we came back and we did a drive, and I think we wound up punting on the drive. You guys went 3 and out again, and then that was that. That was like, all right, we got it. It's just, you know, like I didn't want to start seeing a comeback where there might have been a little bit of a momentum change. There wasn't that much momentum going in your direction, although it's just like I said, it was, he didn't have enough time. And that was what I was surprised about yesterday, looking ahead to the Niners and how much penetration the Cowboys were able to get on that offensive line. I thought that offensive line was a lot better, and it wasn't. You know, I know Trent Williams is a good player, but he ain't the same Trent Williams as he was before. Not the same guy he was in Washington. You know what I mean? He's a couple years older now. You know what I mean? And that, you know, and that whole line anchors through him. And they were able to get in there. And so I think that the Eagles' defensive line is going to have a nice day on Sunday.
Well, now let's not forget, I mean, San Francisco already, they have an awesome defense as well.
But yes, I agree. That's where the best offensive line in the game is going to come. You know, that's going to be a very, very big deal there, because it's really is the Lane Johnson versus Bosa is a big matchup in this game. Right. You know, how much is Lane Johnson going to be able to handle?
You saw what Tyron Smith did to Bosa. I mean, he was throwing him down on the ground, and there was really nothing. And Smith has been here a while, and you saw he was treated. So Lane Johnson, who's a little bit quicker and a little bit more agile, I think he'll be fine. You know, when you're in the stands and you hear opposing fans think everything's a penalty, and it's like, you know, Bosa was just getting beat. He wasn't the stronger guy. And when you get frustrated, you start to do things, as we all know, to try and, you know, to get the edge, quote unquote. And he just couldn't get it. he just couldn't get it. And it was frustrating on him. But I'm going to tell you what, that 5'4 kid for San Fran, he's not a joke. He's the real deal, man. That dude right there, he can play some ball on defense, dude. That's the only guy you got to watch out there on that defensive side. This number 5'4.
So I'm not even sure who that is.
If you guys have any, he got the second interception down on the end zone side before the half from us, and but seeing him close up front, he was just going off on everything.
So I think this week is going to be interesting because San Francisco is ranked number 1 defense, points and yards. Okay. The Eagles offense ranked number 3, points and yards. So I could honestly see a chess match.
Yeah. This
week. And granted that Philly defensively is 3, I think it's you guys were ranked 2 in points and 8 in yards. I think that might go into your favor because I had it here, the 49ers this year.
Fred Warner is 54.
Yeah, Fred Warner, yep.
They're ranked, they have the 5th ranked offense for yards and 6th ranked offense for points. And again, that just comes to all the weapons that they have on there. And it's just ridiculous. Hold on, Chris says.
Yeah, that
there might be.
I see Chris Lentz. That's another thing too. The weather. What's that gonna be like up there this weekend?
Right now, they're talking about 38 and rainy.
Oof. That plays into your hands, though. Both teams.
You know what?
Both teams have the water.
I don't mind the cold. I don't want it rainy. I'd rather not have it rainy, but
his makeup will be runny.
It's not even that. It's miserable.
If we go to the Super Bowl, it's a beautiful sunny day as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it says, because it makes things happen in a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right now, have you noticed, especially in the last 6 to 8 weeks, this lack of tackling to try to get the ball out? The problem with that in a rainstorm is that ball becomes slippery.
Yeah.
And it just becomes a lot more of an issue. So I would rather it not rain. But, of course, I don't get to make that call.
No. And if you did, I'd want that number. We're talking about weather as well. Let's talk about the Buffalo Bengals game. I wasn't surprised that the Bengals won. Actually, I'm glad the Bengals won because I felt that out of that whole issue, with the incident a couple weeks back, that they're the ones that got screwed.
Yeah.
Okay, so if Buffalo won, they get to play Kansas City in a neutral field, but Cincy had to play Buffalo at Buffalo. Had Cincy would have won that game, it would have been vice versa. I digress. I think if Joe Burrow can pull this year off and take the Bengals not only to the Super Bowl, but to raise that trophy at the end of the game, we might be looking at the next thing in the NFL. It's just something about him that I would like to see the Bengals win the Super Bowl. I would like to. To be honest, I could care less who wins it from here on out. But because the Bengals have never won any kind of championship unless it's the Cincinnati Reds. But that's been a minute too. I think it's 1990, if I'm not mistaken. But Joe Burrow is just another animal. He had no gloves in the snow, no gloves. I'm sorry. I have to wear a glove on my left hand just to get the ball in. Okay, he had none, and it didn't even look like it affected them. So
Yeah, well, I tell you, out of all the people playoffs, Joe Burrows is the one guy who actually makes me a little nervous.
yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah.
Did you hear what he said after the game? He said, "How do you feel about the people that were, going to go to the neutral site?" And he's like, "Well,
Gotta get their refunds."
I was like, "That's so cold."
That guy is, he's
so
the real
cold.
deal, man. I like him a lot.
Yeah,
So
I remember his very first game. His very first game in the NFL was against the East. He watched him firsthand get sacked 8 times in that game. He was getting crushed every bit of that game, and literally wound up, just dusting himself off.
Right. And then got on to the next play.
Yep. So
I
they
mean,
tied that game, by the way. So he's not beating the Eagles, and we haven't beaten him.
I think had he would have finished that season, they would have been in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But
they wouldn't have had Jamar Chase. So
that's true. It all works out, right?
it all worked out.
It's kind of like that Chinese man. Oh, you're lucky you got a house. Maybe. Or no, you got a horse. Maybe. Then the son breaks his leg. Oh, I'm sorry for your son. Maybe. Then the people need soldiers to fight, but his son can't fight because he hurt. Anyway, but yeah.
So what happened after the game with Diggs and Allen? I'm seeing Chris's comment.
That's an interesting take. Like what were they talking about? I heard that Diggs immediately got to the locker room, got dressed, and left. And it was a practice player that brought him back to the locker room so they could talk or whatever. And Diggs ended up leaving not too much after that. I mean,
well, I know he blamed Allen.
Of course he did.
I didn't. So I haven't really been following too much about that because they're out. You know what I mean? So I don't care. The turmoil that happens, I'll be able to read after the Super Bowl. But right now, it's just I can imagine that they're upset. They were expected to win the Super Bowl.
A lot of animosity.
So,
yeah.
and Diggs is he wants to win, but he's also a little diva.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that diva in him.
Yeah, a lot of them are. But I mean,
I just think some of these guys get to a point where the money at hand with these contracts is far more intriguing to them than the actual game. And you can see it. And I'm not saying from the physical play that they have on the field, but their reactions on the sideline. And somebody like Diggs, he has a passion for the game. He's fired up for the game. He loves the game. He's not all about this money. And so he doesn't want to show his, temperament because he wants to win. To him, it's not about the money. And those are the types of guys you want on your team. And if he's going around blaming whoever he may be blaming, he probably has a damn right to.
Well, at the same time, before you blame anybody, you got to look at yourself, what you could do differently. And I look at this. I look at it like this. Okay, maybe there's some plays that are specifically designed for kids, right? However, at some point, some of this blame, I'm going to go back to the offensive coordinator. Okay, if they know Diggs is their playmaker, set up a slip screen, set up a bubble screen
on his hands.
Get him the ball.
You can't just keep going deep every single freaking play, and that's what they do with Diggs. That's it. Either a fade, seam, or a deep cross. You can't. It's not going to work. Every team is going to be laying back in the cut, waiting for that. And this kind of goes along the lines of being a coordinator, that they can't make the proper adjustments. And why? Maybe they just don't have the personnel to do that. That's why they need possibly maybe another number 2 receiver. I don't think Beasley is going to be the answer, but I mean, I get passion, I get all that, but at some time, if you want to be a true leader of the team, you can't complain and bitch because you're not getting the ball. You can't. I mean, for example, Galladay, this whole season, you didn't hear him complain one time. I mean, you did hear him say, "I want to be out there," blah blah blah. It was so bad when he caught his first pass as a Giant. The crowd went wild. First touchdown pass of the year, crazy.
That's again where I'm saying that mentality. I got mine. I'm not worried about what goes on with this team, and that's the kind of reaction that fans see from the players. If you're saying that he's saying, "Oh, I'm going out there, I'll wait till I get mine." No, you want the ball. If you're a playmaker, you want the ball, and you tell your OC, "Hey, I want the ball. I want to design plays around that." You don't just sit there and say, "Hey, well, when it comes to me, it comes to me." No. You got to work. You got to have that relationship. And you go back to Phil Simms, John Elway, Troy Aikman, these guys that are old school.
Eli Manning with Calvin Gilbride.
Or, current and relevant to us. You have me the ball. I want the ball. And what did the quarterback do? All right, man, you mess up, it's on you. No, they throw in the ball and they got the results they wanted.
I think Gabe had a good point. What did he say? He said Josh Allen played way better with Dable than his new OC. Well, I mean, I think maybe I don't know if it was Dorsey. Let's see, he played more productive, less turnovers, and more efficient football with Dable. Wow. Okay, we can also say we're a little biased because I agree with you, but at the same time, they just need to rebuild that relationship with their new offensive coordinator. But even with the offensive coordinator, the new one, Ken Dorsey, all right, who's from the U, won a national championship. Look, they still won their division. They still made it to the AFC Divisional Round at home, by the way. So there was some successes. I mean, we can't blame this one game on the failures of the offensive coordinator. However, I don't know who was on the sideline that they were talking to. Maybe it was the quarterback coach. I don't know. But all I'm saying is get a rhythm going. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's any team. And that what really hurts, I mean, me as a fan, is knowing football, knowing the plays, knowing the designs, seeing everything that goes on. And like, Philly and I were talking about earlier in the season, when we know what needs to be done and it doesn't get done is more hurtful. We know you can see the what it takes to score a touchdown, what it takes to stop a defense, and you don't do it. You have all the technology in the world to see every angle, and yet you don't make any adjustments. You can see somebody on the field and they're wide open, the route they're going to run, and yet nobody on the field talks about it. And I say, yeah, it's real time. It's not a video. I get all that. But if you're an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator and you have every tool at dispense, you have to do something.
I say that all the time. You can't. When I know the play that's coming, that means that everybody else knows money to know the play. So when I know the play, I know everybody else knows the play.
Exactly.
And normally the play don't work.
Exactly.
So
and that's the thing that happened in our game. San Fran knew the routes they were going to run because it's just been cliche all season. And what I still don't understand is how we have guys running the same routes, even though they're on different sides of the field, they're running the same damn routes. And I'm just like, are you serious? Why is everybody running a hook? Why is everybody running a curl? Why is only everybody running 9 yards and turning around when you got to get 10 yards? And don't tell me you're going to make it up on the one when it's 3rd and 9.
That first pick Dak threw, that was definitely the receiver's fault. I don't even know what route that was.
That's the thing, dude. The one big play down the field that CD Lamb had. I mean, I was just like, I don't get it with these guys. You have a player talented like that you can go out and he can go get the ball, but yet you don't call plays for him. It just makes no sense.
Well,
and that's the frustrating part.
I mean, and I got to ask the question. So, how many plays are you going to have Zeke be the center for in the future?
I think it's going to be that last one because he got ran over.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he got ran over.
One. And the thing, remember earlier in the season when we were talking about players exchanging jerseys and getting off the field and, hugging each other and everything. I think that's going to be changing here real soon. And I think that's going to be changing for the best for the Dallas Cowboys.
Why do you say that?
No.
Curious.
No, like
Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is done. Micah Parsons is done, dude. He's not going to be going looking for autographs. He's not going to be looking for exchanges on the field anymore, I'm sure. And that's what you got to do as a leader. You got to tell them, nope, I'm not doing this no more. Somebody wants my jersey. I want their jersey. I'll do it off the field. I don't want to talk to these guys. There was a little spatter going back between him and Samuel after the game, and he told him, "Don't be using my name." And I think we need to get back to that. I don't know about you guys. I'm all for friendship and everything. We can hang out as family and friends before a game and after a game. During the game, it's on. Yeah. And I think that's coming. And you got to remember, after the game, it's still a war field. Get the hell off the field. Let me do my thing, and then I'll come back and talk to you.
I know we're about to close up shop here a little bit. That reminds me of that Dallas player that we signed last year. And then at the end of the game, he was hanging out with the Dallas players.
Jalen Smith.
Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, buddy, you're on the wrong side. Oh, no.
Yeah. Trust me, dude. I'm telling you guys, it got to get back to the wrestling. Friends and family after, friends and family before. But while we gotta keep the script.
I agree.
So with the Super Bowl, or we got championship weekend. What Super Bowl? I don't know what team. One of the two teams you're going to pick. What is the line on both games?
So I have it underneath of us. The Eagles are a 2.5-point favorite, and the Bengals are a 1-point favorite.
The away team is 1-point favorite.
Yep.
Mahomes is on his ankle. He's got a bad ankle right now.
Right. That's right.
And plus, Kansas City has not been able to beat the Bengals in
last 3 times. They're 0-3. Last 3 times.
Well, I'll make it quick with mine. I would love to see an old school Super Bowl, and I'm talking like
Bengals 49ers.
Yeah, Cincinnati. I said Cincinnati Bengals. No, a Cincinnati 49ers Super Bowl.
That's what you'd like to see, but what are you calling?
Well, that's what I'm calling right now. I mean,
okay.
We got to do the score. We're just going to call the team.
Well, yeah. So I mean, you're saying that
he's taking Cincinnati. He's taking the Niners.
Yeah, I can see Cincinnati being 20-27, and then with the NFC Championship game, I could see like 13-10. Yeah, 10-7 type game. I mean, this is going to be we're not going to be watching a football game. We're going to be watching a
defensive battle.
Yeah, we're going to watch a straight chess match in the NFC. And I'm actually excited for the NFC Championship game. I am. So
I'm going to take Cincinnati just because of the ankle of Mahomes. I saw him last game, and it just, I mean, yeah, he was still resilient, but I'm going to take the Bengals, and I'm going to take the Eagles.
I'm going to say the Bengals 49ers, only because I don't want the Eagles to make it. I want Jamie to join us on the couch.
Nope, that couch is going to stay cold on my side because I ain't getting on the couch. I tell you, from what I saw from what I saw, I think Brock Purdy has probably his worst game that he's going to have. That they aren't, he could have thrown 3 picks. That if it's a shame that the Cowboys couldn't catch the ball.
Right.
They're not going to make the same mistake against the Eagles. The Eagles got better hands on defense, and we got better hands on offense. And I know that they got one guy on that, the corner who's good in the defensive backfield, but we're going to be able to, we got a lot of weapons. And I think it's going to be a lot bigger points than people think. I got it 27-17, but I don't even think they scored that many. I think it's 17.
I'm telling you, just get it.
I just don't trust.
Just get in the ear. Just get in the ear of the defensive coordinator and say, hey, watch the rollout, coach. Watch the rollout. That's all he's got.
Yeah, well, and that rollout's not going to do as well. I mean, because even Parsons was able to catch up with him fast. Our defensive ends are quick, and that's going to be the thing. He's not going to be able to roll out as well because we got that wide 9. You guys don't use the wide 9 as often. So we have the wide 9. So that's going to be all that containment in there, which is going to force him to Cox and Sue. And I think that's just going to be a much tougher way of going about it. Now, they do have Kittle. Kittle's the one guy who makes me a little nervous, but I'm not worried about Ayuk. I'm not worried about
don't say you're not worried about Debo.
Yeah,
don't
no,
say
not
Debo.
Debo.
Now, McCaffrey does have an injury. I think his calf is messed up.
Yeah, he's going to play, though. I read about that. He's going to play.
Oh, yeah, he's going to play.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
I'm excited. I'm excited to watch the NFC Championship because it's going to be like a Mayweather Pacquiao fight. I mean, well, no, because Purdy's not a record, Pacquiao's not a rookie. So, but it's going to be an awesome chess match.
So yeah, I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be an old school smash mouth football game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I thought that the Giants game was going to be more like that, and it didn't happen that way.
I mean, wait, hold on. There was a game. There was a game.
Yeah, not for you guys.
Yeah, it's with me.
So, but and then for the other game, I mean, I can't bet against Joe Burrows. I just can't bet against him right yet. Super Bowl's a different story, but.
You're not going to give him that.
No, because you know why? That's where him missing his offensive line is going to really hurt him.
Yeah, I said the same thing at work today.
Yeah, it's just that the Chiefs don't have that type of defensive line. He's going to be able to get past them, but they're not going to. And same thing with the Bills. The Bills didn't have the defensive line. If Von Miller didn't play, that was the worst thing that could have happened to them.
Higher caliber team.
So, but
good luck, brother. Have fun.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. I will definitely be there, and enjoy the couch. I hope it's nice and warm. I know that Pork Rind has been laying on it to try to keep it all warm for you guys.
Hey, I don't need to lay on it anymore. I got two of my good buddies, and hopefully my third one coming soon.
Well,
we'll talk next week. We'll be talking next week, and hopefully after an Eagles victory. I expect it to be, but I'm still, we got to play the game. But as always, thank you for everybody who hung out with us.
Let's go.
And go Birds!
Go Niners!
Yeah.
Next year.
Everybody,
next year will be our view. Next year.
It's always next year.